Good afternoon, world. It is straight up noon here in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. Today is April 7th, episode number 133 of Grit and Good News. We're broadcasting live from our studio in downtown Waxahachie in the shadows of the historic Ellis County Courthouse. My name is Jeff Lynch, and I'm your co-host. Sam Brooks is managing the board and making timely comments. And to my right is my friend, your friend, man about town, expert on even things he knows nothing about,
Yeah, imagine
Scott
that.
Brooks. Can
That's
you
a good
believe
way
that?
of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it fresh here.
We're keeping that and we got our Masters Augusta Green going today for sure. We got 2 days until the big tournament starts. I can't wait. I'll be watching it when they tee off Thursday all the way till Sunday night.
Speaking of the Masters, I need one of those sandwiches this year again.
A pimento cheese?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
By my
So
wife,
good.
I will make you one.
Okay,
And
thank you.
today I'm going to be making egg salad sandwiches from my mom's famous recipe. It's never duplicated. And this is coming from my stock of 20 dyed eggs this year.
Wow.
Went for 24, but 4
That's a
were
lot.
broken before we put the dye on, so you didn't want to get involved
That's a
in that.
lot. I ain't dyed eggs since I was maybe 5. But anyway, welcome to Great and Good News. It is noon, so we're here every Tuesday and Thursday at noon to 1 o'clock Texas time, which is Central Standard Time. We talk about everything, not everything, but we talk about a lot of things under the sun that we think are pertinent and important, and that we can learn more about through conversation, through hearing from you. We appreciate always hearing from you guys, and we're just 3 average patriots that want to make sure we know what's going on in the world and that you do too. That said, we always start with the number of our episode, which is 133. Is that what you said, or
Yep.
32?
33.
33.
33. We take the last 2 digits there, and Sammy goes out into the world and finds the, I don't know about most well-known, but well-known professional athletes in all 4 sports that were number 33. And he always
NFL.
starts with football, Tony Dorsett.
Yep. I didn't know any. But he played for the Cowboys.
He did play for the Cowboys.
I got Ollie Matson. He is an old legend.
Yeah.
Roger Craig, running
Yeah.
back for the 49ers.
From
Yeah.
SMU Pony Express.
Oh, cool. Kevin Falk for the Patriots. And then Dalvin Cook wore it for the Vikings.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, in baseball,
NBA.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
He made the most famous. Shaq didn't wear it.
Yeah, he did.
He wore 33.
He wore it
think
at
he's won-
LSU. I think he wore it at LSU and he wore it at the Cavs.
He played for more than one team, but he was number 32, 33, 34 in
Yeah.
the pros. I
How
think.
about his nickname? I think it's in the top 10 greatest nicknames of all
Diesel?
time. No, of Larry Bird.
Oh, Larry Bird.
Yeah, I don't.
He was from Indiana.
Yeah.
He was from French Lick. Are you getting it?
Mm-hmm.
The hick from French
Uh-oh.
Lick. Ow! Is a good one.
All right, so we got Larry Bird, we got Kareem,
Yep.
Scottie Pippen wore it,
Yeah.
Patrick Ewing,
Yep.
Shaq wore it, and then Alonzo Mourning
Yeah.
wore it.
Those
A lot
are
of
good.
good.
What was Kareem's original name?
I have no idea.
Well, Cinder.
Lou Cinder.
I have no idea. All right, MLB.
MLB 33. That's a weird number for baseball, and not really. No one comes to mind that I can think of. I'm sure
Yeah.
there are some.
I'll start with Eddie Murray,
Okay.
played
Yeah.
for the Orioles. Larry Walker, played for the Expos. Honus Wagner,
Yeah.
played for the
Nice
Pirates.
job on the Honus.
Jose Canseco
Canseco.
for the A's.
And he had a twin brother.
Yeah, I forget his name.
We got David Wells.
Yeah.
I think pitcher for the Yankees. And then we got Jason Varitek for the Red Sox.
Yep, very good.
All right.
What was Jose Canseco's outfield miscue?
He got hit in.
He got hit on the top of his head and
and
it
went for a
bounced
home run.
into the stands for a home run.
They called it a home run?
Yeah,
Well, it
it went
was.
over. Hit him in
Wow.
the head. All right, and then
NHL.
hockey. NHL, well, those are hockey. I mean, goalies can sometimes wear 33, but I don't know of any that stand out.
We got a few.
I'll start with Patrick Roy.
And that's the first one, and that is Patrick Waugh.
He just got fired.
Who was a general manager for the Avalanche and then the Islanders, and they canned them with 4 games left, and he replaced him with former Stars coach
Peter DeBoer.
Peter DeBoer.
We got Dino Chara.
Okay.
Zdeno.
I thought it was going to be silent. I
Yeah.
tried. For the Senators, we got Henrik
Well,
Sedin.
mostly from Boston.
We got Henrik Sedin.
Sedin,
For the Canucks.
correct.
Dustin Byfuglien.
That's a
Fugler,
weird name.
it is a
Yeah.
hard one.
Yeah.
Blackhawks. We got Chris Draper.
Yes.
And then I end with Pete Peters. I love that name. Pete
Yeah,
Peters.
Pete Peters, yeah.
And how about, sorry you didn't have this one to pronounce. Benoit Hogue, who played for the Stars.
Yep. All right, is that
Glenn
it?
Chichi Resch. That's it.
Okay, that's it. All right, so there you have number 33 in the big worlds of sports. The Masters starts this week, as we just talked about. So Thursday morning at the crack of dawn, they will tee off. After there's always a ceremonial teeing off. Used to be Arnie, Jack, Gary Player, and well, that was just the three of them. Now that Arnie's passed away, it's Gary Player, Jack, and Tom Watson. So they'll tee off and then the tournament starts. And I think the weather's supposed to be good all 4 days. It is a place like any other over there, and it is a tournament like any other. So I'll be hunkered down watching it all 4 days.
Couple of things there. I'm in a couple of Masters pools. I recruited our friend here into a couple of them, and he won one of them, and he was last the next year.
Yeah.
If you want in on a good pool, just let us know, and I'll get you. But you got to get your stuff in by
tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
I was there twice and a half. I was there in 2008, and I was there in 14, and it got rained out, and went again in 15, and they gave us comps. But let me tell you, they always talk about on TV, well, you can't appreciate how much the course rolls, and that's true. But what you don't know till you're there is you walk in there. Okay, I got a green shirt, I got a green hat, he's got on a green hat. None of them are the three same shades of green. And you can look around at any given time and see 6 or 7 different shades of green at the same time.
Yeah, it's
It's
beautiful.
just spectacular.
Yeah, I think of heaven I'm convinced there will be a Masters kind of place,
Yeah,
a heavenly setting like that.
yeah.
So we'll be watching and we'll be reporting on, well, we won't have much to report on Thursday, but certainly next Tuesday we'll talk about the results. Final Four results from last night,
Can
Michigan.
I get one more
Mhm.
Masters thing in? It's hard for you to believe. I haven't talked to you about this yet, Scott. I played recently. Bryson DeChambeau played 2 public courses in town, and he's trying to go to different places and shoot course records at the public places. And he played at the Golf Club of Dallas,
Mm.
where I work. He played in the Scramble, and then he played at Prairie Lakes in Grand Prairie.
Cool.
Kennedy's cousin Ty met him at
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the in town or wherever he was.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty cool guy. The Final Four results from last night, Michigan stomps UConn. Oh, it stomps. It was a closer game than that, but that was some serious basketball. That's the way. If the NBA were like that, I would watch the NBA. Those guys were beating the devil out of each other. Coaches were calling plays, and it was execution. It was a great game
And
Mhm.
you know, I
to
hadn't watched
watch.
one the whole tournament, but I traditionally do watch the championship, and it was
It was a lot of
great
fun.
ball.
It was a lot of fun.
It was close all the way, and it ended up only 1 point.
No, they won by 8 or 9.
Yeah,
Yeah, they won by 8 or 9. Uh,
Validate me.
okay.
well, I can tell you for sure,
Mm,
8 or 9 or 7, something like that.
No, they were up 8 and 9, and then it dwindled down.
But anyway, so Michigan is the national champions for this year, and congratulations to them. I meant to make a mention before we all got started and all this stuff, but we are giving away Scarborough Fair tickets for you locals. We have the post on Facebook under the Waxahachie Sun. You can go there, ask for tickets. You can
6.
go there and ask for tickets. Those are, because we have so many people asking for them, those are just done by random or maybe first come, first serve. If you want to be assured that you're going to get tickets, then you need to comment on this show that you want them to say, make sure we know who your name is, who you're requesting uh, them for, and how many, a maximum of 4. And Kennedy is watching the show, and she's going to keep track of those and make sure that you get them. So they're all electronic, digital. So be sure to let us know on this show if you want them, and you will be assured getting them. as opposed to the other way that we do it. So there you have it. I'll mention it more before we close out the show. NFL officials, we know that there's a contract dispute between the NFL Officials Union and the NFL. So right now the NFL is making plans to hire replacement officials, which is never good. Last time we did it, it was a disaster. Or they did it, it was a disaster. But that's going on right now. If you'd like to know that, we have a couple of runoff races here in Waxahachie and in Ellis County. Those would be for Precinct 2, Commissioner for Precinct 2, and there's another runoff, and I can't remember what it is, but those runoffs, election day is May the 26th. Waxahachie baseball is rocking and rolling. I believe they're somewhere between 20 and 22 and 2. So they're either 20 and 2, 21 and 2, or 22 and 2. I can't keep track. I should have checked before I came over here, but they are rocking and rolling and playing great baseball. So kudos to them. I also want to mention proud dad moment here. Sammy started the Game Within series of columns that will just run in perpetuity. He started last week with a digital only column about Luca versus Cooper, and Sammy's take on it is that Cooper will be better for the team long term and for its prospects of winning a national champion or a world championship. Yeah,
Speaking of Luca, did you hear about him going to Spain, getting
yeah, getting his
injections?
treatment.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
going all the way there to get injections to his hamstring.
yeah.
So,
I that's
A-
interesting because Tiger is going overseas to get treatment as well.
yeah.
And tell them all what Luca did the last 2 games he played.
After
Cooper, you mean?
Cooper.
I'm sorry, Cooper.
Cooper, after I posted that, the day after, Cooper scored 51 points against the Orlando Magic. And then 2 days after that, the next game was Sunday against the Lakers. He dropped 45 points on an almost triple-double.
Yeah.
Both of them were high percentage shooting games, and he locked up the Rookie of the Year, if you ask
Yeah,
me. So,
I think I told Sammy Cooper must have read his column, but Cooper, I think Sammy's column, I think will prove to pan out, and that is that Cooper will be the right kind of mainstay that this team needs to be, kind of a bit of a different kind of
I
player,
hope
totally,
so,
but
man.
a kind of Dirk impact.
And what record did he get when he shot the 45 on Saturday night?
51.
No,
Or,
it was when he shot the 45. He was the first, I think, either teenager or rookie to have back-to-back 40-point
and yeah,
games.
Another one though.
I don't know.
He tied the great Wilt
Oh yeah,
Chamberlain with the back-to-back game total point
yeah. He has 96
record.
points in the
yeah.
last 2 games.
Yeah, he's a player, and I think he's a good kid, been raised well, and will prove to be a really core of a team. And he works hard. I mean, the dude drives. He has no. He appears to me. I mean, he started out tentative, but he seems to me to have no fear. I mean, he'll go in and he doesn't mind mixing it up. So
And
that's
day by day, your Cooper Flag facial hair imitation
Oh
contest.
yeah.
You're number one
Oh
on
yeah.
the globe right now.
Yeah. I'm up there. I'm up there.
Yeah. So there you have some just updates on some things. Let's talk about tornations. Let me just start with my stack here. There's a story out of essentially it's Philadelphia, I believe, but it's at the Hershey Park Zoo, and this is an incredible thing to me. For the life of me, I watch, I listen, I read. We all do. For the life of me, every single day, today tops tomorrow, yesterday, and tomorrow will top today with some story. This story: unsupervised child at Hershey Park Zoo injured by wolf after crawling under the safety barrier. Now, listen, the parents from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, which I think is more middle of the state actually rather than Philadelphia, were charged Sunday by police with 1 count each of misdemeanor child endangerment. Listen to what these parents were doing that really speaks to what they weren't doing. Police say the parents moved about 25 to 30 feet away from the toddler for a seating area and were looking at their cell phones at the time of the incident. So, 18-month kid is probably, I would
I
assume,
can't even envision that.
is walking. It can walk, which means the parents are on notice. You can't take your eye off a kid for 2 seconds. We have a grandson that's going to be 2 in July, and I mean, in a split second, he can be from one room to the other, and it can be on top of the house for all that matters. And so we don't take our eyes off of him as grandparents. I know his parents don't either. But these parents were 25 to 30 feet away on their phones while this kid, this 18-month-old, was crawling um, at the zoo. Based on our review, says the police, an unsupervised 18-month-old child was able to crawl under an exterior perimeter fence. One, I didn't know you could crawl under a fence. Travel to the primary metal enclosure surrounding the wolf habitat and put his hand through that fence. A wolf approached and made contact with the child's hand. I think that's putting it lightly. I think the wolf bit the kid. This type of response is consistent with natural animal behavior and was not a sign of aggression. So, it's call it whatever you want to, but these parents allowed an 18-month-old kid,
Neglect is a
yeah,
nice
and
word.
they were, let's see, let me tell you what happened to them.
We'll call endangerment another good word.
They were arrested. I thought I had, let's see. They were arrested for child endangerment and carted off to jail for that incident or whatever you want to call it.
As
But
well they should have been.
I don't know how old these parents were, but that's an amazing thing. You talk about what in the world, what in the tarnation? That's a what in the tarnation. No Kings March in Minneapolis. We've been hearing about these No Kings March. Matter of fact, we had one right here in Midlothian a couple of weeks ago. I don't think, I think the turnout was far less than what all the hoopla was about, and it fizzled out without any impact. The whole premise of the idea is that people are protesting in a free America, which you can do, uh, that we can't have any kings. The implication there is that Trump believes and acts like he's a king, yet a king wouldn't allow a protest to take place, particularly if they're protesting the very king that in this case they say is in place.
Well,
It's
and it's
it's
completely a nickname from the left.
it's bizarre. It is all the left. It's bizarre. It's oxymoronish, if you will. But these people are continuing to want to protest against Trump, who they say pretends to be a king, but Trump doesn't do anything to stop them from protesting. It
Do you
doesn't
think
make
they
any
know
sense.
that?
But they know it. But I think some know it. I think they're in denial about it, or they just want to ignore that. And then some have no idea. But the point of this, the reason I mentioned it is because in Minneapolis, where there was a bigger march, seems like everything happens in Minneapolis these days. Behind the No King St. Paul protest, $250,000 production machine equal to a Def Leppard concert. So we're told to believe that these protests, whether in Midlothian, Texas, or in Minneapolis, Minnesota, are grassroots, organic. People just show up to make their own signs on cardboard boxes and show up and protest. What they actually are productions uh, by and through which these protesters, one, are they're recruited. Number two, they're given all kinds of material to protest. Listen to this. Uh, this was in March. The rally branded as No Kings, CNN reported that anti-Trump protests had popped up nationwide, including at the Minnesota State Capitol. So there's CNN saying these are the organic pop-up kind of stuff. But a Fox News digital investigation reveals that nine vendors were paid an estimated $250,000 to build a professionally sophisticated protest infrastructure behind the flagship event held in St. Paul. They were there to fine tune the art and science of throwing the protest, along with two other No Kings protests last year. The machine, listen to what the machine behind these protests provide. The machine behind the protest included deploying about 30 semi trucks to deliver concert level equipment, a massive mobile stage, nearly a mile of heavy duty feeder cable used to distribute electricity throughout the rally site, scores of porta potties or porta toilets and folding chairs, 8 jumbo screens, high-speed internet, and bike rack barriers to keep the crowds away from the stage, filled with bold-faced celebrities, including rock star Bruce Springsteen. There's your reference to him, actress Jane Fonda, and singer Joan Baez. The operation amounted to a massive build-out that resembled the setup for an outdoor music festival or Def Leppard concert, according to the event's vendors.
You think those celebs did it for nothing?
I'm sure. I'm sure they're not gonna. Yeah, I don't. Maybe I mean
I
I
don't
would
know.
think so. I just the 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 boatload of crap that we're being sold that we should never buy on behalf of the media, on behalf of these protests, just keeps getting bigger and deeper and uglier every single day. So when we see these protests, we need to realize that there's nothing pop up about them. There's nothing organic about them. People go to protests that are organic, which we have had in this country. You can tell just by the virtue or the nature of the things that they bring with them or don't bring with them. They don't have stages set up. They don't have railings set up. They don't have semis coming in and providing uh, hats or shirts or chairs or whatever. I mean, when they were protesting ICE in Los Angeles, remember that back in January? There were drop off points for semis to provide. In some cases, there were cinder blocks being provided. And so it's all a factor of the media trying to convince us that as CNN said, pop up. There's nothing pop up about them. It's all a staged event.
When we had Joe sitting from Minneapolis, from St. Paul, sitting in your chair
Yeah,
about a month ago, that's one of the things he emphasizes is the machine that the left has for that sort of thing is just well oiled.
it is well oiled. And I think about protests, and I have never been asked to. I mean, what are these people? How do they get asked? I mean, how do you recruit people to go in a be in a protest? Do you market it much like you would any other kind of campaign or robocalling or marketing tools? I mean, I'm there's no question that I'm a people know that we're conservative, and no one's ever asked me to participate in a conservative protest. I wouldn't even if they did, because I don't think that stuff works. And yet, we see all these protests, and as I've always encouraged people to do, and I certainly encourage you to do it, is to find out what others who think differently than you do are thinking. And that one way of knowing that is to go on if you can stomach it, CNN, MSNBC or MS Now, whatever it's called, and other channels, and just listen for 5 minutes. You'll get a sense of what they're thinking about. And when you listen to Rachel Maddow, by example, she's always or very often talking about how many protests there are. 2,500 protests going on in this country, and that means that the country is changing and becoming blue and blah 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 blah. And it just such I don't know how people anymore in the mainstream media can even look in the mirror. So there you have it. When you see the next protest, remember that there are people behind it, people like Soros and other just bottom feeders who are trying to light this country on fire. Dallas Stars. Let's talk about our Dallas Stars, who, by the way, are about to go into the playoffs. When do the playoffs start? Do you know? Next week?
Saturday, April 18th.
Yeah, so a week from this Saturday. Today's the 7th. So a week from Saturday, the playoffs start. And if you've never watched hockey playoffs, it is a lot of fun to watch. Our Dallas Stars have been in the news a lot lately, whether it be the Stars battle with the Mavs over the AAC or what's going on there. But in this case, the Dallas Stars, and I totally agree with this, have banned one of
For
four
life.
banned indefinitely. One of four men who I haven't seen the video, I haven't seen pictures, but who evidently they didn't ban all of them
They
yet.
could only
Yet,
identify the one by the ticket sales.
yeah. So they may get to the other four, but these four guys, uh, allegedly, until I see proof of it, I won't know for sure. But did the
Heil
Heil
Hitler.
Hitler I'm not going to do it movement or sign or whatever at the AAC.
And they got busted by somebody sitting in a few rows behind, reporting them after the fact to the Stars, who ignored it originally until they finally saw the video.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, and they did it right after a goal, so it
Is
was
that what
like,
it was? I
yeah,
mean, it stood up in Heil Hitler. I mean,
yeah.
After every goal.
Oh, after I
After
didn't
oh,
know.
after every Stars goal.
what is wrong with people? What possesses somebody? Do they all get together? I mean, I don't know how old they are, but yeah, well, a little bit of alcohol, but still, I
In
mean,
Dallas, like why do
but that's
that?
where your mind goes. And I mean, I remember getting together and saying, "God, let's do this."
Where do you think they were sitting?
I have
They
no
were
idea.
so hyped.
Upper deck.
Were they?
Yeah, so they thought, they thought they were
But
going to be good.
I just don't know. It's really a cry for help when people do that, in my opinion. So the Dallas Stars acted appropriately, and we got to remember, the Dallas Stars, like any private organization in America, can do whatever it wants. It can set its own standards, it does set its own standards, its own rules. You break those rules, the Stars can do what they want.
So what if I don't like they banned them, like they can't go to Mavericks games. What
Well,
does
no,
the Mavericks not have a say in that?
I, well, I don't know about. I would agree. I would
Mm,
assume the Mavericks would say, yeah, we don't want them in our game
yeah,
either,
yeah. Well,
but
the
they're
yeah,
banned from
but
the
the
Stars.
AAC.
Well, I think this is, let me see, I have the exact wording, I'll tell you. Dallas Stars ban buyer of seats tied to alleged Nazi
Yeah,
salute.
it's a Stars band.
Just a
So
Stars fan?
yeah, it has to do with this. The
Code
fan was
code of
banned.
conduct.
The fan was banned after the AAC launched an investigation into 4 Dallas Stars fans who appeared to repeatedly raise and extend their right arms with a straightened right hand facing downward. An investigation was started after a 12-second clip from the Stars' 5-1 to win in December against the Maple Leafs was amplified last week on numerous social media platforms. So
Quick response on that, huh?
yeah,
That's weird.
yeah, really.
The thing I heard was that they were banned from the AAC and couldn't go to Mavericks concerts, anything to do with the
Well,
AAC.
Well,
that could be. I don't know. That seems
I
like the
hope that's what it
Mavs
is.
can't really make. Well, I know that the Stars can't make decisions for the Mavs,
Okay.
and vice versa. Uh, but the AAC may be a part of this whole thing too, and
yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
if I were the AAC, I'd say we don't want your rotten, you know what, in here.
Yep.
So, I agree with the
Shame on them.
Stars. Good for the Stars. How about talking about sports teams? I haven't mentioned yet the Dodgers team, have I?
No,
Okay,
it was a
so
nice tie-in to what you said before about the tickets
Oh yeah.
for Scarborough Fair electronic deal.
yeah, so we can see all these many of these organizations are going to electronic tickets. I couldn't tell the last time I had a paper ticket.
But they're going to electronic only? Like that's
Electronic,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
just like Scarborough Fair.
anybody that
uh,
goes electronic goes all the way.
So electronic tickets, Dodgers, one more Major League Baseball teams, concerts. Uh, Again, I don't know when I printed out. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago that I actually used a printed ticket.
And I don't like it.
So you have an 81-year-old guy in Los Angeles. He's been a season ticket holder of the Los Angeles Dodgers for 51 years. 51 years, almost as long as I've been alive.
He got him when he was 30
And
years old.
he has always used the printed ticket. He's 81. He self-admittedly said that he doesn't know how to operate a computer and he uses a flip phone. I'm surprised he has a phone at all, but he uses a flip phone and that's it. He's not going to do any more. He doesn't know how to. He's 81. What's the point in his mind? So the Dodgers say, well, we're going electronic. We do not take printed tickets. So here's the remedy. You're no longer a season ticket holder. The Dodgers offered to buy his ticket back, paying what he spent for those tickets. He said, "No, I'm a lifelong Dodgers fan essentially, and I want to keep going." And so they're at a right now. If nothing changes, and as of coming over to the show, I don't think anything has changed. But the Dodgers basically are saying, "Too bad, Mr. Great
You
Fan,
could be a hero,
you're no longer a member of our fan base."
right?
Yeah, you could be a hero. His name is Errol Siegel.
I mean, the Dodgers could be a hero by saying we're making an exception of this.
Siegel told the station he does not know how to use a computer and only uses a flip phone. He told the station it wouldn't have been a major deal if it was a season ticket holder for only a few weeks. But he said, I've been one for 5 decades, he says. So I had tickets 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. That's another story. 50 years I've had these tickets. They threw me under the bus. Siegel said the team offered to buy his tickets back, but he didn't want to hear it. He told the station he hoped the Dodgers reconsider their stance. The Dodgers have had no comment so far, and so we'll see. But I thought that was pretty amazing. I can assure you, anybody, we've been in existence for 8 years at the Sun. Anyone who's been with us from day one, day five, year two, we'll do whatever we can to make sure that they are accommodated. Just give him the ticket for God's sake. Just say, figure out something, give him a barcode that he can wear on his forehead. I don't know. Yeah. And let him come watch the games forever. Imagine 80, probably not much more in his life that he gets to do that's fun. So I thought we'd share that with you. How about did mention a little bit last week, the Virginia gun ban, the governor up there, Spanberger, who is really, I think she's been discovered as being a fraud because she ran in on one platform, and now is trying to govern on another, and she's wanting to take away assault weapons, whatever she claims those to be. Her polling suggests that she is tanking, and it is falling rapidly among red and blue people.
Is Virginia a red state?
The northern part of Virginia, which is right next to in Washington D.C., essentially is blue. Other parts
Is
of
that
it are
where is
red.
she? Is she in the?
She's in the blue.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought even those people who talk about taking rights away. So we talk about congressmen and women who are here to say the Affordable Care Act is the best thing since sliced bread, or uh, we, we want to do this. We believe shutting down DHS is good for the country, uh, and a plethora of other things are rarely, if ever, impacted by the decisions they make.
Right.
Right. So when it comes to, because all these people have, not all of them, many of them have security. You go to their homes, many of them have protection. Some of them have fences around their homes and that sort of thing, but they don't apply those same principles to the rest of it. And so here you have a governor who's saying, we want to take away assault weapons. You've got a decent amount of people on the left who live in those areas that say, wait a second, we can say, yeah, we're for you, but when you start impacting us on a real level, no way, Jose, we're not going for that. And and that's why I believe Congress ought to always have to abide by the same rules we do. So if our insurance changes, they ought to be forced to buy from the same marketplace that we buy, and they're not. They get great insurance plans up there. So I thought you'd be interested in that. How about California? So California is run by who?
Gavin Newsom.
As Trump calls him, Gavin Newsom. Newsom. Uh, in Los Angeles, do you know who their mayor is? Her name is Karen Bass. She was in Congress. I look at people like Elizabeth Warren and I look at people like Karen Bass, and I'll say to myself, just among many others, what do you know about running a business? What do you know about profit and loss? What do you know about economies?
Well, she sure looked like she didn't know much during the California fires.
Exactly.
Out of control.
And those many of I think the vast majority of those people who lost homes in California and Los Angeles still don't have the permits they need to build back. Only a fraction of those that were lost have been built back.
I wish I could think of the specifics, but there were a number of actions that she took that had a bad effect on the whole deal. It had
Right.
to do
It
with
just slowed
water,
it.
and
Yeah.
it had to do
Slowed
uh,
down the whole process.
with the fire department, and
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly, but
So we listen to these people, namely in this case Newsom, who wants to tell us that he's a smart guy, that he's capable of running the country, and yet California is a disaster. I mean, we need to break it, but as we get into the 28 election, we'll break it down a little bit more for you. But California is a disaster. So here we have in Los Angeles, I think it's across the state, but this story is about LA. California's $20 minimum wage for fast food workers has led to negative outcomes. And I thought this would be, because do you hear about going to $30 minimum wage? I mean, you'd like to make $30 an hour minimum wage. All of us would, but the minute somebody tells us at the Waxahachie Sun we got to go to $30 minimum wage is the very minute we close the doors. It's not doable. So all these businesses out there, and you think of fast food restaurants, I don't know what kind of margins they operate on, but they're not wildly big margins. And so you have people in government who don't know their head from a hole in the ground telling you got to go $20 minimum wage. You're going to put them out of business. The minimum wage for workers was $16 before, which is still pretty high. Before the $20 minimum wage for fast food workers became law in April of 2024. Uh, that's in California. The results indicate a plethora of, that's twice I've used the word plethora, of negative outcomes such as higher menu prices for consumers. So what is Karen Bass? There's a picture of Karen Bass if you've never seen her. But what did Karen Bass? And I'm being serious, asking both of y'all. So let's pretend for a second you're Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom, and y'all are sitting down in your office, and you're saying, you know what, we need to take the minimum wage for fast food workers to $20 an hour. What kind of conversation are you going to have? So Sammy says to you, "Hey Jeff, let's go to $20 an hour on minimum wage." What are y'all going to talk about?
Well,
What are y'all going to say? Well, what are you just going to be so giddy about?
Is
Oh,
it
these young people and these others are going to get a bump without ever thinking about what income, or I mean, what impact it's going to have on the rest of the world?
are you vote buying for people who can't vote yet?
Yeah,
well, what comes to my mind is it's obviously more expensive to live in California, right?
it is.
So does that plays a factor, doesn't it?
Well, it does, but that's part of the problem. It's a vicious cycle. So
Uh,
you tax everything under the sun, literally in California, and then you say, "Well, we've taxed everybody so high that they have to be able to earn more."
okay.
But the more we force businesses, this is the point in your conversation. So we make a business who operates on say just average margins to go up. I don't know what what is that 30%, 25% in minimum wage. What do we think they're going to do? What would the Sun do if we could possibly make it by paying out $30 minimum wage? If we could, if I thought we had the chance, I would say to every department that we have, we got to go up in our prices.
Yep.
We got to we got to we got to find better printing pricing, which is probably going to mean a result of poor printing quality. So everything we have to do everything we can to be able to provide an increase in minimum wage. Here's what the result was or is in California: higher menu prices for consumers. We already know. You go to we go the other night, by example. We're big Door Dashers, and we have the Dash Pass, which means we don't pay that much in the feed. But I can rarely get a meal for just one if it's just me eating for less than $12. Sammy he and Kennedy go to Chick-fil-A and other places often. And so when you go and you buy a regular meal for the two of you, what do y'all pay?
Regular meal probably around $23 if we
Okay, so
go there and do it.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are these? What is does Karen Bass look at Gavin Newsom or Gavin Newsom look at Karen Bass and say, Gavin or Karen, what the price of these people are now going to pay $25 for a one meal? I mean, so that's one issue. Reductions in employee working hours. So that's exactly what I would say. Okay, if I got to pay you $30 an hour, I'm cutting your hours in half.
Oh my
So you got to still do what you were paid to do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do it in half the time because I'm having to pay you double what you were making. Elimination of overtime and loss of benefits for employees. Further decreases in employee opportunities are being driven by automation, and the adoption of labor replacement technologies is accelerating. So if a media company says, if the government says you got to pay people a lot more minimum wage, yeah, we'll get rid of them. We'll just go to AI and use it.
Would you say that 60 Minutes is usually pretty unbiased?
No,
I wouldn't either. The bias would generally lean to the left, right?
absolutely.
Okay. So on Sunday night, they had a feature on high-speed trains.
Yeah.
And did you see it?
No, but I've read
And
about
you
it.
know that it's big on the East Coast, which
Yeah.
is where there's so much ridership. They talked about only a few places nationwide are talking about doing it. One of them's Dallas to Houston,
Yeah.
and that doesn't make sense for a variety of reasons. So now they got this one going in California. It was going to go from LA to San Francisco,
Right.
and it was so far behind expense wise that they scaled it back. And now it goes from it's scheduled to go from Bakersfield to a town a third of the way up to San Francisco with a population of 92,000 people. Like, who's who's going there?
Yeah.
Who's going there? And it was quite an expose story. And they mentioned twice that Governor Newsom was asked for his comments for this story and declined to comment.
Well,
Way to stand up for yourself, Gavin.
yeah.
On that's the biggest news show in the country.
I don't want to get sidetracked, but I swore 60 Minutes was like crime.
No.
It's
60
not.
Minutes is a news expose show every Sunday night.
Oh my gosh,
It has been
I thought it was
forever.
true
No,
crime.
no,
Yeah.
Oh wow.
no. But yeah, here's the thing: when Gavin Newsom officially declares that he's going to be running for president, which I am willing to say today, I don't want to be, one of these folks that like on the left who said Donald Trump will never be president of the United States, and now they're eating crow
Right.
because he not only once but twice. I don't want to fall into that trap, but I am here to say that I am 99.99% sure Gavin Newsom will never be president of the United States, because to get there, he's got to go through this gauntlet. And this gauntlet includes the train, the what do they call it? The high speed rail.
Yeah, bullet trains.
The original budget was somewhere, I think, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, 20 something billion dollars. It's now up to 124 billion and still hasn't been built. And it was promised to be done a decade ago. And so this is the guy who's responsible for it. He all the time was hyping it, and now it's like a ball and chain.
He's got to get over the California fires. He's got to get over the massive outflow of people from California.
Yeah.
He's got terrible homeless problems. He's got
He's got
his
terrible problems.
issues. He's got his issues.
All right, I want you to play. We're going to stop for a quick second and have a little bit of fun time
Let's have
here
some
for a
fun.
minute, maybe
Good.
a little less than a minute. But Trump takes it on the chin from everybody, and everybody on the left. And it's in some cases he brings it on himself. And I think by now he knows it's coming. He doesn't care, and he likes tweaking them. That's why I think the things he said on Sunday morning, on Easter Sunday morning, about Iran, using F-bombs and praise be to Allah and the word bastard and all that. He knows what that's going to elicit. He does it anyway. The thing for me is that if we can look beyond that veneer and say, what kind of guy really is Trump? And when I in moments like this video I want to show you, I think we get a sense of Trump being a lot of fun to be around. And we have to remember a lot of these libs who now claim they can't stand Trump were once real good friends with Trump. The Clintons, we talked about this on this show before. He gave millions and millions and millions of dollars over the years to liberals, and now those people despise him, it appears, and call him every name under the book. But I think at his core, Trump seems to me, if I'm being fair, to be a fun guy to be around. And this is one of those little videos. So this is Sunday, or no, yesterday, because I do the Easter egg hunt for Easter on the Monday after Easter at the White House. This is Trump sitting at a table with kids, and he's talking about Melania, who's standing right behind him. And I thought you might get a kick out of this. If you can't hear it, I'll tell you what he says after the video.
Oh, she is? She's a movie star who came in from Hollywood to be with mostly egg farm.
Oh, yeah. What is your favorite color?
You know who she is?
Yeah, that's it.
She's a movie
So
star.
that one, there's Trump sitting with a bunch of little kids. And one of the other parts of that conversation, he's talking to those kids, and he's saying, you know how the former president used to do this? Because he's signing pictures where they painted. He's a auto pen. He would have a big old machine. He'd hand it to a guy and go get his signature on a machine. So these kids are like, auto pen? What's an auto pen? And Trump's just carrying on. He knows the cameras are right there, listening to every word he says. But here's Melania standing behind him. And he says, yeah, she's a movie star from Hollywood, and she's come here to be with you and to be with these egg farmers. You probably couldn't hear that part. But he was wanting to make sure that these kids knew, one, that he's relatable or can mix it up with them. But he's talking about egg farmers and how much, Trump has proven how much he loves farmers. But that's the Trump I get a kick out of it. And I sense that is the real Trump. It's like being on the golf course. I bet if Trump came down and wanted to play golf with us, he'd be a blast. He'd hit a ball and say, put that in your pocket.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hoot and holler.
yeah,
Hoot and
and so if people would just let up and say, what is he really like? The people on the left that hate him, people we know, just said, what is he really like? I think they would find a pretty cool guy. All right, Sammy, we got 2 more videos. I want to talk for a few minutes about the left's response to Iran. But before we get into those videos, let's talk about Iran. So we know Iran, pretty amazing stories over the weekend. So we continue our bombing them to hell and back. We get a, a, a plane, fighter plane, whatever you want to call them, shot down over Iran, and 2 pilots eject. And I was listening to Trump and Hegseth describe it because they're going at such incredible speeds when they eject, depending on when they pull their, they're not in sync. And so one of them pulls his for the parachute, and then maybe even a second or 2 later, the other one pulls it. They are actually, in this case, I think they were 7 miles apart when they land. So they have no capability of using each other to get through this. They fall. The first one gets picked up, and then a leak comes from the media, which Trump and those guys are going to figure out who leaked it, and then I think prosecute. I hope they do, because it did come from the media that there was a second one, and that second one is injured severely. He's a colonel. He's injured severely, bleeding profusely. They put a bounty out on him. I can only imagine thousands of Iranian men that are wanting to catch him.
And be richly rewarded.
Yeah, richly rewarded. Plus, just imagine the bargaining chip that Iran would have if they had caught and captured and held this dude as a prisoner of war. So this guy, again, a colonel, but he was a weapons specialist. So he gets shot down, pulls his ripcord or whatever, and he's 7 miles away from his buddy. He's got a transponder on him, and they end up discovering that he is 7 miles from where the first one was found, and he's in the mountains. He's at the base of a mountain, a 7,000-foot mountain. So this dude ascends a 7,000-foot, and he was there for a day and a half, ascends the mountain. The transponder does its job. He's hiding in a crevice of a mountain side and is injured severely. I don't know what he ate in those 48 hours or less than 36 hours. And they find him. And there were over 150 airplanes or equipment, helicopters, airplanes, other things that were used to be able to capture this dude. What we'd say, juked them, so the military would send a bunch of planes to one area of Iran.
Juked them.
Yeah, and the guys would think, well, he must be over there. There are all these airplanes that are over there, and so they were doing that constantly while they knew exactly where he was. So there's a whole lot went into it. If you heard any more of the stories, to get him out of there, they had to build makeshift runway because the sand was too wet and you couldn't get traction to get these big planes out of there. Matter of fact, a couple of the planes, big old planes that we were using, we blew them up after we left.
Right.
So they couldn't use any of the technology. So it's an incredible display of military might and military strategic minds. I mean, to me, it's one of the more remarkable things. And you would think that people would say, yeah, we got this guy out. We're putting a stop to Iran's threat across the world. But I want you to hear 2 videos. One of them is of I don't know who she is, but she's a commentary. It's a commentary from someone on the left. I want you to hear that one. And then I want you to hear Jonathan Capehart, I think he's still with the Washington Post. That's the first one. But listen to these people on the left and how they describe what they think is going on.
Look, I agree with you. Most people believe Iran is a bad actor. They've been a bad actor for 47 years. If we defang them and we bring some stability to the Middle East and the world by this action, I think over time the American people will think it was a good decision.
LOL. Sorry.
I'm sorry, what does that mean?
I know it's not your age group, but laugh out loud.
I mean, is that a serious response to a serious answer?
It is a serious response
Why?
to what
Are those
what
not
wasn't-
worthy objectives?
Can I finish? What wasn't a serious answer, which is this. The last thing that has been brought is stability to the Middle East. What we have seen, in fact, is a chaotic incursion, misadventure into Iran, which has led the entire region to be inflamed with no end in sight, with the president actually now changing the goalposts, saying that, well, we're just going to cut and run and let the Straits of Hormuz be sorted out by somebody else. Listen, every single president had in their binder war games, knowing that this was going to be the end result if you did what you did. President Trump chose to do this, and now he's changing what the metrics of success are. This is a disaster for the region, and it has been a disaster for the American people because they have had to pay for this war.
LMAO. That's my response to that. We take away their missiles, we take away their Navy, we take away their Air Force, and we take away their capability of getting nuclear weapons. They have missiles that can reach most of Europe. And if you want to leave them in place to do all that for another 47 years,
Are they not
that's
still
a
in
choice.
place? Are
That's
they
a
not
choice.
still in place, though?
These things I just listed are not in place. They are not in place.
Look,
I agree with you. Most
Okay,
people
there you go.
believe
So-
Iran is.
Yeah. So what possibly, seriously, what possibly could she be thinking to suggest
It's just
that
the
it's in
whole
chaos and
Trump
that they
derangement.
can still use nuclear weapons? I mean, it's so.
There's
I don't.
nothing he can ever do that will satisfy the left.
No, there's
We know
not.
that.
There's not. Let's play the Jonathan Capehart. So here's another description of the same thing that I thought you guys would be interested in. And these are prevalent thoughts throughout the left as to what's going on in Iran and what Trump is doing. Something presidents for the last 47 years have said needs to be done, but never did. This is how they describe the guy and what's going on, the guy who's doing it.
Media thinks Hollywood's smarter than the CIA. Listen.
Playing on cable right now on a loop is Top Gun Maverick. There was more of a plan in the fictional plot of Top Gun Maverick than there appears to be in this very real, very live situation in the United States war with Iran.
The media knows the goal of the war. We can't have terrorists get nukes, and they can't have missiles and proxies threatening the world. That's it. But why would Trump give the press his war plan?
So Capehart, again, working for the Washington Post, which has always been a left-leaning rag, frankly, is saying that Top Gun, the movie, had more strategy than what's going on here. I don't know if it's more sad than it is sick or sick than it is sad, but it's both. And I'm here to say, at least for the few thousand people that might take us in every show, what's being done now is needed to be done for so long. And thank God that he brought Trump along to do it. So there you have it on that. What's the rhyme we
This
got?
is going to be the
Poem.
third installment of Bob Dylan's Murder Most Foul, which came out on an album in 2020. There's a reference in here to 50 years, and I was doing my backwards math, and I realized that Kennedy was shot in 63, and 50 years was 2013. And I'd read somewhere that this song was actually written in 2013, wasn't out to 2020. And
Yeah.
so now we're back to episodes 3. Tommy, can you hear me? I'm the Acid Queen. I'm riding in a long black limousine, riding in the back seat next to my wife, headed straight on to the afterlife. I'm leaning to the left. I got my head in her lap. Hold on. I've been led into some kind of trap where we ask no quarter and no quarter do we give. We're right down the street from the street where you live. They mutilated his pardon me. They mutilated his body and took out his brain. What more could they do? They piled on the pain. But his soul was not there where it was supposed to be at. For the last 50 years, we've been searching for that. Freedom, oh freedom, freedom over me. I hate to tell you, mister, but only dead men are free. Send me some lovin', then tell me to lie. Throw the getter and the gun and walk on by. Wake up, little Susie, let's go for a ride. Cross the Trinity River. Let's Keep hope alive. Turn on the radio, don't touch the dials. Parkland Hospital, only 6 more miles. You got me dizzy, Miss Lizzie. You filled me with lead. The magic bullet of yours has gone on in my head. I'm just a patsy like Patsy Cline. Never shot anybody from in front or behind. I've got blood in my eye, got blood in my ear. I'm never gonna make it to the new frontier. Zapruder's film I've seen night before. Seen it 33 times, maybe more. It's vile, it's deceitful, it's cruel, and it's mean. Ugliest thing that you could have ever seen. They killed him once, and they killed him twice. Killed him like a human sacrifice. The day that they killed him, somebody said, "Son, the age of the Antichrist has just begun." Air Force One is coming through the gate. Johnson sworn in at 2:38. Let me know when you decide to throw in the towel. It is what it is, a murder most foul.
Very good. Very good. All right, day in history.
Day in history.
What do you got?
What do we got? Here we go. On this date, Union forces led by General Ulysses S. Grant and Major General Don Carlos Buell defeated Confederate forces at the Battle of Shiloh in Tennessee.
1814.
1843.
1862.
Oh,
Ooh.
We got a bonus in this one. It comes up in the last line. Here we
All
go.
right.
Interior Secretary Albert B. Fall signed a secret deal to lease U.S. Navy petroleum reserves in Wyoming and California to his friends, oilman Henry F. Sinclair of Sinclair Oil and Edward L. Doney in exchange for cash gifts. Fall would eventually be sentenced to prison on bribery and conspiracy charges in what would become known as the
no idea.
blank scandal,
Don't know.
the Teapot Dome scandal.
Oh, well.
Okay,
I say 1910.
I'll say 1888.
1922.
Dang it.
President Dwight D. Eisenhower held a conference in which he outlined the concept of the domino theory as he spoke of the importance containing the spread of communism in Indochina, saying, "You have a row of dominoes set up. You knock over the first one, and what will happen to the last one? It is the certainty that it will go over very quickly."
1930.
1950.
1954. That was the big justification for Vietnam, also.
Yeah.
The domino theory. The U.S. Navy recovered a hydrogen bomb that the Air Force had lost in the Mediterranean Sea off Spain following a B 52 crash.
1960.
1971.
66. You're in there, Sam.
Yes.
The Census Bureau reported that Los Angeles had overtaken Chicago as the nation's second city in terms of population.
1989.
85.
84.
Okay.
Used to be New York, Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
LA. Now
Hmm.
it's flipped and it hasn't ever come back, has it?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Ramat Akalov, a Uzbek man who said he wanted to punish Sweden for joining a coalition against the Islamic State group, drove a stolen truck into a crowd in Stockholm, killing 5 people and wounding 14. He was convicted of terror-related murder and given a life sentence.
2006.
2004.
2017.
Yeesh.
That's a jump.
Is that it?
That's it. That's all you
Oh,
wrote.
tie.
Tie.
3 and
Dang.
3. All right. If you want Scarborough tickets, be sure to respond to our show. Kennedy's watching, and we'll take note of those, and you will be guaranteed those tickets. Otherwise, if you don't do that, then you can go to our Facebook page, Waxahachie Sun, and put your name there, how many you want. And if we have them available, we'll give them to you. But if you come to the show and ask for them, we'll make sure that you get them for sure. 2 facts that sound like BS.
Try us.
Are you ready?
Always.
True or false? Famous children's book Green Eggs and Ham contains just 50 different words. It's a book,
True.
True.
50 different words. You sure?
Sam, ham, I am.
True. Dr.
True.
Seuss made a bet with a colleague that he could write a successful book using just 50 words, and he won.
Interesting.
you have it. Our sponsor of the show is Hoosier Custom Meats out of Italy, Texas. We are grateful for their sponsorship. We also highly recommend them if you're in need of steaks, kebabs, you name it, they got it. HoosierCustomMeats.com. Their phone number is on the screen that you are looking at, and tell them that Jeff, Scott, and Sammy sent you, and you will. That's all right, Melissa. So are we most of the time. But we do Day in History because it's a great learning tool. We've seen Sammy, who's 21 years old, learn so much just by the virtue of that show.
We're so proud.
Yeah. So anyway, HoosierCustomMeats.com. Thank you for being here. We'll see you on Thursday.
Make it a great day and try to put a smile on somebody's face. Boom.